We're back here on the John Fourcade Show. One of our John Fourcade specials this week. All remaining 2016 Ford F-150 XLTs, you can get $8,500 off on total savings or $13,000 off on total savings. Again, great deals here on all remaining 2016 Ford F-150 XLTs, $8,500 in total savings or $13,000 in total savings right here at Veterans Ford. We're back here on the John Fourcade Show. John, this week, because of the fact Matt Ryan's going to play Super Bowl Sunday, Drew Brees made his 10th shot at in the Pro Bowl, his 9th with the Saints, which is a record for the Saints as far as that's concerned. And I know it's kind of the consolation prize for what's going on, but again, for another great season, over 5,000 yards in passing. And I still don't see how he didn't make it to begin with. Right. Again, Dak Prescott getting in, nothing against Dak, but really Drew's season overtopped what Dak did as far from an NFL level. But again, congratulations to Drew Brees.
Well, you know as well as I do, when you start dealing with the All-Star ballotings and the Pro Bowl
popularity,
it's it's your buddies for you. Because I've seen it when we even voted, when I played. Sometimes the guys get together, they don't want a certain guy to get in it because they wanted their buddies to get it, and they would conspire with other guys to do this. But he's well deserving of it. We all know that Drew's and numbers, but you know, like someone said, man, how did the Denver Broncos quarterback? He was entitled to get in the. So when you start, guys don't show up and things, and
Tyrod Taylor was in last year.
It's a joke when it comes out, but this is no joke because this is a guy who's done it year in and year out. Drew Brees, congratulations to him. But you know, when you're not winning, a lot of people don't get a chance to look at it. But he puts phenomenal numbers up there. It's not his fault for what the Saints have done other than that. But congratulations, you know, Pro Bowl. To my book, they should even have it. Pretty soon it's going to come down to this. Someone's going to get hurt pretty bad in it, where they're going to end their career because of an injury in the Pro Bowl. It's not like an all-star baseball, basketball, because there's no contact, there's no hitting. But in this scenario, something's going to happen one day in this Pro Bowl, and they're going to nip it in the bud. I think they just say, you know, you get your little money, give everybody a trip, and call it a Pro Bowl.
It's almost like two-hand touch to begin with, or flag football the way it is. But it doesn't take much.
You still can get hurt. You got to cut on that turf. You got to make a move. You can slip. I mean, they're still going to hit you, but it doesn't take much. Some of these guys to get hurt. A lot of guys can tear up a knee and not even be hit.
One of the stories Archie Manning told me, Tom Mack, the old offensive guard for the Los Angeles Rams, was an 11-time Pro Bowler. He retired. The next year, the players voted him right back in. And he had been retired 1 year. So it goes to show that they weren't quite keeping up with the times when a guy 1 year out of it gets voted to the Pro Bowl. Mickey Loomis, along with most of the Saints staff out in Mobile, checking out the seniors. This is a job interview. You played in the Senior Bowl. You understand what it's all about. That for most NFL executives and head coaches, this is the first time you really get a chance to see them. You might watch them a little bit on television, maybe watch a bowl game, but to be honest, on weekends, you got something else you're dealing with from August all the way through into early January. First job interview for these young kids. Kind of tell everybody a little bit about your experience playing at the Senior Bowl. You were the MVP that particular year. But it is the first job interview for any senior player.
It's a little different nowadays than when I was there. When I went into it, you did all your little measures, your height, weight. They sit down and chat with, but they didn't chat with you as much as it is nowadays. There wasn't a lot of teams coming at you. It was pretty much when you first got there, you did your little, you did everything you're supposed to do, and then you kind of did your practice, and they kind of chatted with you on and off. But it wasn't like you see nowadays. They want to go in there. These guys, like I said, it's a job interview. They'll sit down. One coach will sit down. One team will sit down with you nowadays, and then you leave, and another group will come in, and another group will come in. It's a little differently in the Senior Bowl because you don't have much time because you are practicing, you are meeting with the coaching staff. But when you're on that field, that's when you're showcasing your resume, as they want to see you out there and want to do things out there. That's the big difference. You are definitely, for 1 week only, Mike, it's your time to buckle down, and you better be serious about it. We kind of had guys goofing off. We were out every night. I remember we all had fun. It was like guys get together all-star. We didn't have what they do nowadays. It's a little different nowadays because also you got the social media now that hounds you. But back in the day, you pretty much was on your own until you went to the combines. Because back in the day, we had combines. I went to 3 combines. You only had 1 this time.
Yeah, from a financial standpoint, they had to basically put it in one thing. Now, they do have these little regional combines now, for some of the mostly small college type kids that can come in and play. But it is so much today, a lot what you bring up, the practice sessions, not necessarily the game, the practice sessions and the one-on-one interviews. They want to find out how much football means to you. And you understand today because everything you do is scrutinized. You can't do anything somebody doesn't quite catch you on a cell phone or whatever. You get caught with a DUI within minutes. That's on SportsCenter, everything else. That you have to understand, they want to find out kind of what makes you tick a little bit. Now, they bring in psychologists, but here's the other part. I work with a lot of agents. They're telling the players exactly what to say in those segments. So, yeah, you're getting a little bit of inside information, but they're just telling you what you want to hear.
Well, Mike, they're doing that nowadays. Probably in the last 10, 15 years, you probably had more of that compared to back when we were playing. You know, a lot of guys didn't have agents prior to them playing in the Senior Bowl. A lot of players that went to the Senior Bowl, it was more like, okay, we're going to play in the Senior Bowl. You have fun, you enjoy yourself. You met with a few coaches, you met with a few teams. And nowadays, no, you're meeting with all 32 teams, pretty much. Somebody, if they're interested in you, you'll meet with a bunch of these ball clubs, and you don't have time to have freedom and enjoy yourself. It's one day here, one day there, one afternoon here, one afternoon there. In between your practices, you get done, and the media's all after you. If you're a top-notch guy, now there's a lot of guys at the Senior Bowl who are happy to be there, not getting as much love from the NFL guys as some of the other players, but this is what it takes. You got 1 week to go in there. You can't sell them all on 1 week of how you are, but you definitely going to be scrutinized from the head to the toe. And like you said, they got people that'll check you out. And it ain't going to be psychiatrists. They got investigators that'll go back and investigate and look at your past history on and off the football field.
Your family,
yes, they will.
Who your friends, who you've hung out with. From a quarterback standpoint, I think it's the toughest thing, the coordination between a quarterback and a receiver. Because, you know, when you play in college football, you're working with that guy for a long period of time. Now, all of a sudden, you're thrown into the mix here with a new coaching staff, with new coaches, new receivers. It's the coordination between you and that pitch and catch part of it that sometimes you don't get in just a day or two. And I think that's the toughest thing. People say, oh, well, he looks off in practice. Well, why wouldn't he look off? He's never worked with that receiver before. And also new terminology on certain plays that they're calling.
And my whole take on all this when you see these all-star games is I hope these coaches and these scouts don't put a lot into it from the standpoint of he's not picking up this, he's not doing this, because it's unjust to the players. You're right. You know, they bring 3 quarterbacks in on the roster now. I only had 2. And when I played, one of the other quarterbacks, first play of the game, the guy I played with, he got hurt, so I had to play the whole game. But when you go to practices, you know, you change. If you're a spread quarterback, well, when you go to the Senior Bowl, they're not running spread quarterback offensive stuff. They're going to see what you can do from a drop back, see if you can handle some of the NFL terminology that they would use. And granted, you don't have the same receivers that you're used to when you're playing college ball at practice. So you got a lot to get done in a short period of time because you're not out there 4 or 5 hours. You're out there just a couple hours getting some things done. And they want to see how quick some of these guys can pick it up. If you can pick it up quick enough, that's a plus for you. But don't be surprised when you go to these events and watch these guys if some of them are a little bit behind.
The other thing, too, is that people say, well, it means so much. All I know was last year, the MVP in the Senior Bowl was Dak Prescott. He went in the 4th round at the most critical position on the field. Everybody passed on him at least 3 times, some teams 4. So it is what it is. It's just a piece of the puzzle. We'll be back with more of the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford.